Main components of Docker. Docker is built upon several core components that work together to enable containerization, portability, and application deployment. Below are the main components of Docker, explained in detail. 1. Docker Engine. Definition: the core of Docker, responsible for creating, running, and managing containers. Subcomponents. Docker daemon. Docker runs in the background and manages Docker objects like containers, images, networks, and volumes. Docker CLI, command line interface, the command line tool used to interact with the Docker daemon. Commands like docker run or docker build are executed via the CLI. REST API allows developers and tools to interact with the Docker daemon programmatically. 2. Docker images. Definition: read-only templates that define the environment and application required to run a container. Details: includes the operating system, application code, dependencies, libraries, and configuration files. Built using Docker files. Stored in image repositories like Docker Hub or private registries. Usage: images are the blueprint for creating containers. 3. Docker containers. Definition: lightweight, standalone, and executable units that run an application and its dependencies. Details: instances of Docker images. Isolated from the host system and other containers, but share the host OS kernel. Portable and efficient, with minimal overhead compared to virtual machines. Usage: containers encapsulate an application and ensure consistent behavior across environments. 4. Dockerfile. Definition: a text file containing a set of instructions to build a Docker image. Details: defines the base image, application code, dependencies, and configuration settings. Example commands from run, copy, cmd. Usage: automates the creation of Docker images. 5. Docker Compose. Definition: a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker applications. Details: uses a Docker Compose.yml file to configure multiple services, networks, and volumes. Commands like docker compose up bring up all services in a single command. Usage: simplifies orchestration of complex applications. 6. Docker Registry. Definition: a repository for storing, distributing, and managing Docker images. Details: public registry. Docker Hub default. Private registries. Organizations can host their own to manage images securely. Supports versioning and tagging for images. Usage: developers push images to the registry and pull them for deployment. 7. Docker Volumes. Definition: persistent storage for containers to save data beyond the container lifecycle. Details: stores data separately from the container file system. Useful for databases or files that need to persist even if the container is deleted or restarted. Usage: ensures data durability and sharing between containers. 8. Docker Network. Definition: manages communication between containers and between containers and the host. Details: network modes. Bridge, default mode for isolated container networking. Host, shares the host's network stack. Overlay, for multi-host networking in Swarm or Kubernetes. None, no network connectivity. Provides IP addressing and DNS for containers. Usage: facilitates communication and isolation in containerized environments. 9. Docker Swarm. Definition: Docker's native clustering and orchestration tool. Details: allows you to manage a group of Docker hosts as a single virtual host. Supports service scaling, load balancing, and rolling updates. Usage: orchestrates containerized applications in a production environment. 10. Docker Plugins. Definition: extend Docker's functionality by adding support for additional storage, networking, or logging tools. Details: examples: volume drivers, network plugins, or monitoring tools. Usage: customizes Docker to fit specific requirements. These components work together to provide a robust ecosystem for containerized application development, deployment, and management.